All right. So today I'm going to talk about the My Viewboard and part of the program. And the first part I'm going to talk about is called the Follow Me settings. And this is the online portion that, if you set it up, will follow you from any viewboard that you're at. So if you're in your classroom and you log in, your settings will pop up. If you're in someone else's classroom, you log in, your settings will pop up. Or if you're online and using the My Whiteboard software, your general settings will pop up as long as you are signed into that program. So I'm at the myviewboard.com website, and I'm going to sign in. All of you already have an account, so I'm going to sign in with my district Google account. I'm already logged into Google, so it'll just see me and it'll allow me to come in. Okay, and this is what you will see here. My subscription is with the district, so you can see that I have a district account right here, my email, all that stuff, and I can click right here and get my follow me settings. These are settings, like I said, that'll follow you from device to device. My default is education. That's the sector we're in. I can choose an auto sign out. And what this is that, let's say you're using multiple devices and you forget to sign out, it'll kick you off after a certain period of time. So let's say that I was one of those people, maybe a site coach, someone that went from board to board and was helping teachers out. I might say auto sign me out after 4 hours. That way, if I forget to sign out, it'll kick me off after that time period. If you remember to sign out all the time, you don't have to worry about it. You can activate a session password. This is a one-time password for your whiteboard or your Windows, Android, and classroom sessions if you want to use it. You can activate the show time, which will show your time on the whiteboard, the grid if you want to show a grid, a watermark if you want that on or off, and whether or not you want wireless presentation. And you can turn these on and off. My encouragement is always to come in, turn it on, log into your whiteboard and see what does it do. Do I want that or not? So you can turn on and off the time. Do you want the time on? Do you want the time off? And you can decide if you want that to be there, okay? Font size, what do you want that to be? And again, this might come with playing with it. You might find, hey, I want a super large font or I want just a standard 20 size font, okay? Do you want it bold, italicized, or underlined? What font color do you want to come up when you initially start using it? Realize you can change these at the board. So this is like your default setting, but if you want a larger font size on it, it's not always going to be 20. You can say, hey, make this larger, and it'll make it larger when you're working on the board, okay? So these are kind of like your defaults. What do you want your pen width? What do you want your pen color to be? And then confirm those settings, and they will stay. Any device you log in, those will be your settings, okay, that follow you. You also have over here cloud integrations. These are devices that'll be integrated into and follow you from device to device and allow you access. So here you can see that my Google Drive is linked. You can bind your Google Drive, and that way whenever you save something, you can save it to your Google Drive. You have bookmarks. These bookmarks will follow you from device to device. And you can see that I've got a variety of different bookmarks. I have education ones. A lot of these are pre-done by the company, but you can do your own. There's a little edit thing right here. So it's kind of like ClassLink. And I could say, you know what, I don't want ABC Mouse. I don't use it, and I can make it disappear. I don't want Discover Education. I can make it disappear. So you can choose what you want, and then you can add more, do any custom tiles, or you can look through their devices and stuff and add other stuff, okay? So you can do it, and whenever you want, you just save it, and it'll save yours. And they have ones for business. These are business links that you can access that are already built in, kind of your news links. They have public sector links, and it's like, again, it's very similar to ClassLink and what we would do with ClassLink. So here's sports ones if you're into sports that are already set up for you, and you have that there. But your main thing is education, and again, there's bookmarks there, and you can edit them. Very simple, very similar to ClassLink, okay? Your background, what do you want your background to be like? I have a default, just standard white background, but some people like to have note paper, or they might want a map if you're a social studies teacher to be your default things that come up. Some people like the different defaults, and you can change that, okay? And you can change that whenever you want. You can come in and set any of these as your default, any of these pictures. Once you set it and you log in, that's what will open up as your background on your screen, okay? Magic line pin. This is one of the pin options you have. You can have any of these as your default for the magic line pin. You can come in and say, make this my default. That would be your default. Okay, and you can change that at any time. Remember, you can change these at any time from the device itself, so it's not that important. You can clear it. I usually didn't have a default. I just selected it when I want. And same thing with a shape pin. If you want to set one of these as your default, and if not, you can do it when you use the pin. It's not that important. The main things that I think are really important are whether or not you want an auto sign out, what you want to be, what you want your font, and your background, if you want a background. Those are, and your cloud integration, making sure your Google Drive is activated there. The rest of them, like I said, it's an easy change from the board, nothing permanent. But some people find they use something all the time. Come make it your default, make it your standard. Okay, and those are your follow me settings found right here. Once you log in, those are the follow me settings for my Viewboard. And again, those will follow you from device to device. Now, what do I mean by that? As soon as you walk up to a device, and this is the My Whiteboard software, you'll notice that I have a login right here where I can sign in to that My Viewboard. This is the same thing that pops up when you start your computer, the My Viewboard software, when you're at the site, or when you open up the My Whiteboard software if you've installed it on your computer. And I'm going to click just log into Google, activate that. It'll say, hey, you're now signed in. And when I come back to the My Whiteboard software, you'll see that little login thing is gone. My name is now up here, and my defaults are set. Okay, so if I type something in font, it's going to be my default font. If I use a pen, it's going to be my default pen thickness. Everything is set based on the defaults that I had already set up. Okay, so if I had a thicker pen, it would have showed up with a thicker pen. And again, you can choose what defaults you want. And those follow you from device to device. So that's a little bit on the follow me settings. Hope that helps you out with starting on your My Viewboard.